Welcome to another episode of Boom or Bust, the draft show, or maybe not even a draft show anymore. Max Chadwick, PJ Clark, Tate Sigworth. We got breaking news, guys. I mean, this is freaking awesome. Nick Merriam. If you like Nick Merriam from our redraft, he is now officially a part of Boom or Bust, the draft show. Probably the smartest football guy out of all of us. So look, he's the official football nerd of Boom or Bust.
It's a great title.
Draft show.
It's a great title.
I love the title. It makes us look like the cool kids too. Maybe we can give like a swirly.
Yeah, you need that, so it's fine.
Ooh.
Yeah, you too, Four Eyes. All right. So
we're
gonna play a game all season. Nick's more of an NFL guy than a draft guy, which is great. We're going full football now. Nick, we're gonna play a game all season, and you want to explain to our listeners what that game is?
Yeah. So basically, Fox NFL Sunday. We completely copied this. I'm not even gonna apologize about it because they got rid of it and it's terrible. They used to do this pick segment that was excellent. And it was like this 10-minute segment at the end of their pregame show, and it was fantastic banter. And Jimmy Kimmel started his career in it because he used to do it, and then Frank Caliendo got on it, and now Rob Riggle's a part of it. But like they got a new producer or something, so now it's like different, and it's just not fun anymore. And it's like 2 minutes. But they had this whole system, and we will keep our standings like points throughout the year, and you'll see us just being competitive and having banter about that. And
we get to be degenerates. Who says
basically.
no? It's not us.
I love it.
And I'm claiming this as ours now because they threw it aside, and I'm picking it up because one man's trash is another man's treasure. So here we go.
You want to explain
so basically
rules?
the way, yeah. I was about to do that. Yeah. So basically, It's all right. We're getting into it,
Working out the kinks. It's early. It's week one for everybody. This
is what happens when
the
you
look
trade
of
for a new
disdain
player.
he had for me when I said you're gonna go over the rules. He's like, "Yeah, I was about to get into it." My bad.
Oh, boy.
It's a new player on the roster. The chemistry's got to get in. We had no training camp, so we're figuring it out.
It's week one for everybody.
Like the Texans last night, just not in sync at all, dropping passes. All right, so the way it works is there are two games that I will be assigning every week. Usually, like games I think are close and interesting, because we're not going to just pick the Colts and Jaguars because everyone's going to pick the Colts and no one really cares. So we're going to go with Vikings-Packers this week, and then we're going to go with Saints-Bucks, and we're all going to run through those two games, and we're going to pick them and discuss those two games. Then we're going to do kind of a wild card thing where each of us have been randomly assigned a game. I'm going to have a list of games that I think are relatively close and worth picking. Again, Colts-Jaguars was not on that list because, again, whoever gets that is probably just going to pick the Colts. So in this case, Max got assigned Cowboys-Rams, which is a relatively close, interesting game. He will talk about that and pick that one. And then we each have to pick, outside of those three games we already picked, a different game for an upset. It has to be an upset based on the Caesar Sportsbook, which you can find this is basically the lines that are on ESPN.com. And the way this will work throughout the year is we will keep our records, but really what matters is the point total, which is you get 1 point for every pick you get correct. That's a favorite, and 2 for every upset pick. So the maximum points you can get a week is 8, and the minimum is 5 because you have to take one upset every week.
Or 0 if you get everything wrong.
Yeah, or 0. There's going to be a couple zeros in here, I guarantee it.
That's true.
At Tate.
The minimum you can get.
Hey.
Another thing that we got to figure out, because Fox used to have their own thing, whoever was winning had like the lead dog. They would put like a dog next to them. I don't care about that as much because that's not as funny as the other thing, which was anyone who goes 0-4 would put on a golden sombrero when they were picking the next week.
Boy.
And they would like taunt them.
I
I don't want to completely copy that, but I feel like we should figure out something for people who go.
All right, we can get a punishment going. We can get a
kind of
punishment.
shame.
Yeah, we'll get that.
We should figure that out on Twitter. We should see what people say on Twitter because they're usually somewhat helpful.
Bring it to the people. Bring it to the people.
We will. I love making up content during the episode. We do it all the time.
We do it live.
All right. So let's start with the Vikings at Packers, or the Packers at Vikings, because I just read it wrong. That's the game that's going to be 1 o'clock. Obviously, the Packers had a strange offseason, is one way to put it. Minnesota lost Daniil Hunter. He's going to be on the IR for only 3 weeks now this year is the way that works. But the way it's shaping out, this is going to be a close one. Minnesota favored by 3. And Who wants to start? I guess I'll just assign Max. You go first. What do you think?
Okay. So Minnesota's favored by 3. It's in Minnesota. I hate to be vanilla, but I'm gonna
this
go.
guy.
I'm gonna go. Tate, you are Mr. White Bread. Okay, you are
Yeah.
Mr. Ham and Cheese on white bread.
We had
You-
the same picks. Max
your
is mad. Go to our
picks- your
Twitter.
picks
Go to our Twitter.
Your picks were
Max
just
is so mad about our
every
picks, and we had the
favorite
same
was just
picks,
his pick.
basically.
every favorite. Trevor Lawrence Heisman, Clemson National Championship. Oh boy. All right, I'm going Minnesota. Look, I love Kirk Cousins. I am terrified of this Packers receiving core. I mean, Devontae Adams, you have him in fantasy. Good for you. I have him in fantasy in one of my leagues. I'm very excited because he's going to get every single target on that team. I like this Minnesota team, though. They lose Stephon Diggs, so Adam Thielen's there. Justin Jefferson, they're number 2 right now. I think their offense is going to be pretty good. The defense is always really, really good, even though the secondary is a big question mark. I'm going to go with the Vikings, especially because it was in Minnesota. If this game was in Green Bay, I probably would have gone the Packers, though.
I guess I'll take it next. I'm taking the Vikings too. I think the Vikings are pretty. I think the reports of Adam Thielen's demise have been greatly exaggerated. This guy has been written off all offseason. It's like, oh, Diggs is gone. Adam Thielen's still a top 10 receiver in this league. I will take him. It's a handful of guys ahead of him. And I will go to bat for Adam Thielen forever. I think Kirk Cousins is better than a lot of people think. You didn't even mention Dalvin Cook, Max, who is now on the field after his whole contract dispute.
And running backs matter now after Thursday Night Football.
Yeah, running backs do matter. You took one in the first round, and he's pretty freaking good. I don't know what we're talking about here. Running back Dalvin Cook is going to put up a lot of yards on this Packers defense. I am not sold. I like Jair Alexander obviously, but I'm not sold on the Packers offense. Just like you, I'm taking the Vikings for this week.
So quickly before I move in, now that it's my turn to talk. So this is Max graphic. Everyone watching, here it is. Okay, he also, as you can
Look
see,
at Memphis.
Clemson.
Memphis
Okay,
playoff?
cool. The only difference is Memphis as his 4 and Spencer Rattler as his Heisman. He still has Trevor Lawrence number 1, vanilla. Clemson national championship. You big fat hypocrite. Go eat some more McDonald's and go home. I don't want to hear it. Okay, speaking of not being a vanilla person, I'm going to spoil Nick's pick. By the way, I'm the only person who has the Packers in this game, okay? I'm so vanilla,
why?
I'm just
But
so
why?
vanilla.
Why
Okay,
are you taking the
half
Packers?
point underdog. Oh boy.
Okay, so Minnesota, they've lost a lot of pieces. Diggs, Everson Griffin's gone. They've lost 5 DBs over the offseason. Danielle Hunter's hurt. Okay, there's a lot of pieces missing. It's a 3-point game, whatever. I don't care. That's close enough. Stefanski's gone. We don't know how that's going to happen. And I'm not
Oh
betting
yeah,
against-
because the Browns are totally going to use him to their competitive.
Did I mention the Browns? I was just saying
No, but
he
he's
left the
gone.
team.
It's
I
just
said
a
he
That's a
left.
plug for
cheap
your
shot.
own
I'm
team.
gonna say that's a cheap shot.
I'm holding people responsible.
Go home. Go home.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of insecure fans on this pod.
Uncalled for. I just said he left the team. I didn't even say anything about him going to the Browns. The Browns are going to be good. I didn't even say that. I just said he left. And then EJ over here,
I
Mr.
was
Sam
just saying.
Darnold, better
No,
than
that's what I'm
Baker
saying.
Mayfield.
It's like PJ is
Oh
ready
my
to attack the
God.
Browns because he's a Jets fan.
Jesus.
I like the
You can
Browns.
go
I'm
home.
fine with the Browns.
Go home. You're clearly not. You go home. Go home. Both of you. Nick, I already spoiled your pick. Go
Yeah, so
ahead.
Tate picked the Packers in case you didn't get that. I'm going to pick the Vikings. I actually think things are swinging in Green Bay's direction in this matchup, so this might be just a terrible decision. But my big thing this year is I think the rosters are pretty even. It's just in terms of number 2 receiver, Justin Jefferson, Alan Lazard. And I think in terms of offensive
Was
coordinator,
Alan Lazard low enough for you there? I think it's more like kind of
I
off
keep
screen.
under the screen, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Under my
kinda
desk, like below. And then Gary Kubiak as an offensive coordinator, even if it's more of a run-oriented offense, I believe in a lot more than Matt LaFleur, who I'm just not high on. If you go and watch my Packers preview, just not a big fan, and I think they're not using Rodgers well, and I think kind of a protest pick because of that. I'm just not a fan of Matt LaFleur, so Vikings win.
Okay.
Interesting.
So now I'm going to talk about what is probably the marquee matchup this week.
Yeah, this is a game of the week. This is it.
Buccaneers are heading up to New Orleans. They got Tom Brady. He's over 40 years old.
Yeah, in case nobody heard. I don't know. The Bucs have Tom Brady.
The Saints kept Drew Brees still. He's also over 40 years old and has already signed a contract to work for Fox. So how far into the season is he? Let's be honest.
They have Taysom, though. They're fine.
They do. And they have Jameis.
And
There's the
Jameis,
Bucks QB.
legally cited
legally cited quarterback Jameis Winston.
How wild would it be if Breeze got hurt and Jameis came in?
They
at
win
all.
the Super Bowl. They're going to win
against
the
the
Super Bowl
Bucks
anyway.
too. He threw for 600 yards against the Bucks, just out of spite.
And like 7 interceptions.
And 7
That would
interceptions.
be
That's
like
besides the point.
top tier NFL memes. That would be amazing. Yeah. All right, Max, get us going with this one.
So I originally had the Saints when we started this video, and actually I just changed it because, little background, every one of us in our NFL predictions picked the Saints to go to the Super Bowl, including me. I wanted to be, I was like, that's so boring.
You want to be vanilla.
So
Yeah,
what is this crusade Max has picked up against vanilla? Being vanilla, I don't get it. Where is this coming from?
Tate. So I changed my pick to the Buccaneers, and I am brand committed now. So I'm going with the Tampa Bay Bucks. I actually do think the Bucks have the best shot actually at getting to the Super Bowl because Tom Brady, I think it was more on the receiving core in New England last year than it was on Tom Brady actually declining with his age. I think with Chris Godwin, with Mike Evans, with O.J. Howard, who's going to be reborn again in this team, and Rob Gronkowski and Tristan Wirfs protecting him now, and a pretty good defense, and a pretty good defense as well. This Bucks team is good, man, and they are a Super Bowl contender, and they will make it to the Super Bowl this year. And I think it all starts in Week 1. They're going to upset the Saints. So they're one of my upset picks this week.
I'm taking the Bucks too. The Saints are still winning the Super Bowl. I'm not entirely worried about that. But I have been I've betted against Tom Brady for a long time, and I'm not going to do that anymore. New beginnings for everybody. I'm no longer rooting against Tom Brady. I'm no longer picking against Tom Brady. I'm taking the Buccaneers. Mike Evans being out hurts definitely, but I'm in on this post-type Scotty Miller stuff. I'm in. If you're playing DFS, go play that guy. I'll take him. I'm not. It's just I have no rationale other than new beginnings. I'm not betting against Tom Brady. That's it. I'm done.
All right. So there's always one off-season team that gets an incredible amount of hype. The Bucks are that team. Browns last year, the Eagles in 2010 or whatever it was. PJ.
That's two PJ shots, by the way.
PJ beachfront right now with the Browns.
Counter on it.
It's rent-free in PJ's head, by the way. So I'm going the Saints here.
PJ, because Tate, they got the quarterback he wanted in Baker Mayfield.
I know. People forget. I feel like people forget.
No one forgets this.
Plenty of people forget it. So I'm going the Saints here. I'm not buying into the Bucks hype. They could prove me wrong. They could beat the Saints, and then I'll pick them for the rest of the year. But right now, I'm going Saints. Drew Brees. This team is very good, and they only got better. So Saints, lock it in.
Real quick, you guys remember when PJ wore a headband for that draft, thinking they were just to get Baker Mayfield?
We were never getting Sam. That was never happening until the day it happened. I was prepared.
Small hand Sam. Nick, who you got?
All right, it seems silly, but I'm going Saints, and I kind of feel like the home field is going to be something. And I know the fans aren't really a thing, but in terms of comfort and just being like not having to go on the road, fly in like the day of, and which they have to do now because of COVID. I do think Mike Evans is out, and although that's a nice opportunity for Scotty Miller and Tyler Johnson, who is a Merriam guy, a big Tyler Johnson fan, but I just don't know that those guys are going to step immediately week 1. I think Donovan Smith is actually out too, so that's a hit to the O-line. And I just think the Bucs are a team that'll start out a little bit slow and then get going towards as the year goes on. That's been kind of a Brady thing. 2-2 at like the end of September, and then they go on a winning streak. So I feel like that could be where Tampa is, and I think I like New Orleans to start out here winning. So now we got the wild cards, which are a little more complicated because we have to each say which game in particular we're talking about. So let's start with Max, who has been assigned randomly. Trust me, I use this site called Random Thing Picker. It's excellent. You just put in like the games and it like spits. It's great. And the genius who came up with that must have put like 10 minutes of coding into it. Anyways, Max has got Rams Cowboys.
I'm gonna go. This is actually I think might be the closest game of the week. I got the Rams for the upset pick because I think it's that close. Also, it's in LA in that new SoFi Stadium, which I'm really excited to see in action. I'm going to go with the Rams here. I think the Rams had a questionable draft, to say the least, but I still think that defense is so good, led by the best player in the NFL, Aaron Donald. I think the Rams are going to beat the Cowboys. Again, I think this game is such a toss-up, though. I do love Dak Prescott, who I think my pick for MVP was Tom Brady, but I think right behind it, who PJ took was Dak Prescott. I think he is my number 2 for MVP right now. that offense in Dallas, man, is going to be a lot of fun to watch. But I do think the Rams will open their new stadium with a win.
PJ?
Yeah, so my random game of the week, I have the worst game. This game sucks. Like, I saw this on our Google Doc and, like, almost puked. The Raiders at Carolina, like, why is this a thing at all? Why do I even have to talk about this? I'm taking the Raiders. I think Carolina, if you follow our Twitter, which I hope you do if you're watching this or listening to it, I guess we do have Spotify, as Max likes to forget. I think Carolina's the worst team in the league. I actually kind of like the Raiders. I don't love them. I think they're fine. I think Brian Edwards is really good. I think Henry Ruggs is really good. Their quarterback sucks, but the rest of their offense I'm in on. I think Carolina's terrible. I don't know. I don't want to watch this game, and I feel bad for having picked it.
And we're all worse off because of it.
I got Miami at New England here, the beginning of the Brady-less era in New England. And I'm going Dolphins, okay, in an upset pick here.
I don't hate that.
It's good for you, Tate. Good for you.
It's tough. I know. Vanilla Tate. Go home, Max. It's tough to go against Bill Belichick. Cam's, healthy, which is nice. We don't really know what that's going to look like.
I will fight you right now.
But I think the Miami defense got a lot better. And I don't know. I just feel like Miami is always good for a win over the Patriots. So I'm going Miami in New England. Book it.
You think Tua gets any snaps, Tate, real quick?
For Miami's sake, I hope not.
Yeah, I agree.
I will kill you where you stand.
Well, I mean, like, if they have to switch QBs, they're probably losing. I mean, so they probably don't want to.
Well, yeah, I want to see if they get any snaps, though. We'll see.
Yeah. All right. Well, I got Bengals Chargers, and this is my. I mean, I wish I didn't get this my wild card because it would have been my upset. I'm all in on the Bengals this week, and I think they're going to win handily. Like, Burrow is going to light up that Chargers team without Derwin James. Somebody's going to be playing who shouldn't be playing on that secondary. I love that Bengals receiving core, although their O-line is not good, and he's probably going to get sacked a few times because of Melvin Ingram and Joey Bosa. I do think Jonah Williams is interesting. It'll be fun to watch. And I do believe the Chargers are kind of stuck in a spot right now where their defense is very talented, but they're missing the best player. Their offense can't throw the ball down the field efficiently. I don't really like that receiving core that much. Not a big Mike Williams fan. And I just think the Bengals have a little more firepower, and I think they will win at home in this one.
Huh. I like that pick.
I like that pick a lot, actually. That's pretty good.
So, this is probably the most fun part, the upset special, where we are forced to make picks that we regret. So, Max, what do you got for yours?
I'm going to go, even though I think they made a terrible decision in who they're starting at quarterback, I'm picking the Bears over the Lions, and they're +3 right now. I think Chicago, that defense especially, Matt Stafford, I think his first game back from injury, he's going to look a little rusty, I think. I think the Bears, with that defense, they're going to do enough to win this game. It's going to be an ugly football game. I don't think a lot of points are going to be scored in this game at all. But I'm going to go with the Bears over the Lions, even though I think they made a terrible decision starting Mitchell Trubisky over Nick Foles.
Yeah, so my upset special all week was the New York Jets in Buffalo. And then Kenny Galladay got hurt. Kenny Galladay got hurt, and I wanted to take then the Bears. But I don't want to have the same picks as Max across the board here. So I'm going back to the New York Jets in Buffalo. Why? Sam Darnold has never lost in Buffalo. So I'm going to ride that streak. Let's make it 3 for 3. That's all I have. They're going to lose, but I may as well go down swinging.
PJ, can you confirm or deny that you just changed your pick because you didn't want to slander Matthew Stafford?
Listen, Matt Stafford's going to have a really tough time without Babytron out there. I'm not slandering my king. I would have felt really bad picking Mitch Trubisky over him. Okay. So I'm just going to take the Jets and move on.
I just wanted to clear the air on that one. Okay, so my upset pick, kind of an interesting one, I think. I was between two, but I've settled on the Cardinals over the 49ers.
I like this one, too. I really like
I don't
this
know.
one.
The 49ers, yes, they were in the Super Bowl, but I also kind of hate Jimmy G. And obviously the DeAndre Hopkins edition is huge. I don't really know exactly how this game's going to go. San Fran is like no wide receivers, by the way. So I don't know. I think the Cardinals could get the edge. They are underdogs, so I think it's my best option for the upset pick.
Cardinals gave him fits last year too.
Yeah.
As a 5-11 team.
The
So
Kyler MVP campaign has to start somewhere.
Yeah.
There is a ground floor. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not going that far.
I like that team this year. I think they're fun. I'm gonna run back what Tate already talked about, and I'm picking the Dolphins for my upset. I like Cam, and that's about it, I guess, for the Patriots. Bill Belichick's cool, but I mean, they lost so many players. I mean, the secondary's fine. Like,
he just got paid.
The secondary only has the best, corner in football.
Yeah, the guy who won the defensive player of the year.
They're gonna regress though, right? I mean, they had basically a historical season in coverage last year. There's just no way they're gonna match that. They're gonna be worse on defense than they were last year.
He's right on that. He's making some very good
points. The whole team opted out. I feel like we're also looking at.
I believe that they have the worst receiving core in the NFL. Like, Edelman can't get open without a guy next to him, and their number 2 is like N'Keal Harry, who played like crap last year. I mean, like, I don't. So I mean, what, are they gonna run the ball 60 times? Like,
Jacoby
he's
Myers
better than N'Keal Harry right now. I mean, yeah, it's just a tough spot for them, and I know they're at home, but I think Miami was showing the tight ends, right? I mean, those are their best weapons right now.
Yeah.
Dalton Keene, fullback tight end hybrid. Ooh, maybe he'll be a use check. Good for a couple 6-yard runs on 3rd and 1. Miami's shown all this growth. They did the right. They threw the ball a lot last year, which was the analytics people love. You saw growth in terms of the receiving core. Devontae Parker had his best year. Mike Gesicki started playing well down the stretch. Preston Williams had a good opening. Fitzpatrick had a really good year last year. I think people were sweeping that under the rug. The secondary looks good too, and I'm a big Brian Flores guy, and I think this team is going to be contending late for a wild card spot. Like, I think they're solid. I actually kind of like them, and I do think they win this game week 1. I don't understand that line. Like, I don't know why the Pats are purely 7.5-point favorites because they were good like last year, like 2 years ago. They've clearly regressed. I think Miami's on the upswing, and I like them. I think they win.
Boom. I agree.
Yeah.
Nice pick.
So those are our picks for week 1. We're going to do them next week for week 2 as well. Maybe even college football. We can start doing this for college football too. I think that'll be fun. But look,
By the time you see this, North Carolina will already be up 42 on Syracuse, but I would advise you to take that spread.
The UNC spread minus 22.5.
Yeah, minus 22.5. Hammer.
I'm saying take Syracuse plus 22.5.
All right, there we go. There's a bonus pick for us.
Exactly. So pick whichever one you like better, me or PJ. Just pick that pick right there. For every guest that we interview, is always PJ because they think you look more athletic for some god-known reason.
Yes, I do. It's a shame.
But listen, we're gonna do this
on the show though.
Yeah. No, I mean Nick. I think Nick looks.
Yeah, Max is even worse now.
I mean worse. Great. I'm in 5th place. I'm in 4th place now.
The floor just got lower.
4. But Nick is a part of the show now. Nick's gonna be doing so much more content for us. NFL draft, whatever, some tape breakdowns as well. So make sure you guys follow us on Twitter at Boom or Bust Draft. Also subscribe on YouTube, like the video, subscribe on Spotify. Check out our website too, where we post articles. I'm going to be doing a lot more of that too. So
look at you plugging everything.
It should
Didn't
be a lot
forget
of fun.
anything.
We got a lot of stuff going on right now, man. From Max Chadwick, PJ Clark, Tate Sigworth, and Nick Merriam. I'm Max Chadwick. Have a great night.
Doubling down on the name. I like it.